Today is the start of a new school year, but a lot of students still struggle with blended learning. The country records another all-time high of new COVID-19 infections, 26,303. Davao City is bracing for the worst as COVID-19 cases in the area continue to increase. In fact, the LGU has designated a mass grave for those who died from the coronavirus. President Duterte threatens to stop the government's transactions with the Philippine Red Cross. The PRC will not submit its financial records for auditing.
Obiena, final attempt, maybe.
And Pinoy pole vaulter Obiena smashes the Asian record. Snatches the gold at the 2021 Challenge. Fast, focused, and fearless. There's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Starting today's newscast, the Philippines once again breaking its previous record in new COVID-19 cases over the weekend. This comes after the health department reported 26,303 new COVID infections on Saturday. This is a new all-time high since the start of the pandemic. The DOH also reported 79 additional deaths, over 16,000 recoveries during that time. Meanwhile, on Sunday, the country logged more than 21,400 new infections. This brought our total caseload to 2,227,000, some 181,900 of which are still considered active. 168 more deaths were confirmed on Sunday, bringing the death toll to over 35,000. COVID-19 recoveries now stand at over 2,025,000 new survivors reported yesterday. For these latest figures, the Quezon City is still the LGU with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. This SQC reported over 1,000 new COVID infections on Sunday, and the LGU is followed by Taguig with 595 additional cases. Davao City is at third spot with over 500 new cases, followed by the cities of Parañaque and Manila. Pasig and Makati both recorded more than 400 new infections, and the city of Dasmariñas in Cavite is also on the list with 380 additional cases. Rounding up the list is Las Piñas City with 288 new COVID-19 cases. The research fellow Guido David said that based on the latest data from the health department, Philippines now has a reproduction number of 1.31. That's on top of a weekly growth rate of 15%, a 7-day average of 20,912 new cases per day. Over in Davao City, COVID-19 deaths continue to rise amid the surge in infections. And with this, cemeteries are now bracing for the worst. Gemma Vansenia reports.
The rehabilitation of Tagakpan Public Cemetery in Davao City is now ongoing as it prepares for a possible surge in COVID-19 deaths. In a radio interview, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte said they had already designated the cemetery to be a mass grave. On Friday alone, 24 patients succumbed to COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths in the city to 1,301.
Ang mass grave is ready.
Ang mass grave natin is ready. Aware na rin ang ating operations response cluster. Ang mass grave natin, we have 160 spaces that can accommodate 6 cadavers each. So 960 yung kaya i-accommodate.
Active cases in Davao City meanwhile spiked to more than 8,000 after logging 459 new cases on Friday. The influx of patients in the Southern Philippines Medical Center's COVID-19 facilities is now at an overwhelming rate. In a photo sent to News 5, some patients who were recently discharged from the SPMC are seen in a COVID-19 step-down facility. One of them is Rudy Daño, who said most of the patients are already recovering but still under monitoring. Some barangays in Davao City are also facing difficulties since there were delays in picking up new COVID-19 patients.
Crowded na kasi kaya yung iba nasa bahay na lang. Sa awa naman ng Diyos, survivor na ngayon. Gumaling na lang, di pa nakuha. Pero minomonitor naman namin.
Davao City LGU is ramping up its inoculation drive. City councilors rolled out mobile vaccination efforts so more residents could gain access to free vaccines. But as for Councilor Sweet Advincola, misinformation about the vaccines remains a primary challenge.
Doon yung mga sabi-sabi na kung mabakunahan daw, magiging zombie. Iba din ang fear nila na baka yung needle daw aabot na sa buto. Eh, hindi naman. So kailangan paigtingin pa ang education and information sa vaccine.
For News 5, Jem Avancenia, we are One News.
Students across the country are welcoming their second pandemic school year today. After last year's distance learning system was widely criticized due to lack of preparation, how are teachers, students, and learners gearing up for this year? Lino Lavario tells us in this report.
Ryan Dunhill Reniva, a grade 8 student at the Addition Hills Integrated School, is ready for another school year, which officially begins today. Just like the last school year, the approach will be blended learning, or a combination of online and modular. His free tablet from the Mandaluyong local government is ready, while his modules will be picked up by his mother Jabel from the school.
Nanibago po.
Saan?
Bagong experience po ng online class.
Ano yung pinakamahirap sa online class?
Siguro po, network rin po. Network connection rin po.
The blended learning modality also entails adjustment on the part of the parents, who actively guide their kids in their online classes and modules. This is no easy feat for Jabel, whose husband is an OFW in New Zealand and has to take care of their 4 kids, 3 of whom are students.
Aasikasuhin mo yung anak mo, aasikasuhin mo yung bahay. After po niyan, ando na po yung hindi mo na maasikaso yung sarili mo. Pero nakaka-proud naman po kasi bilang magulang is natutugon at nagagampanan mo yung gawain mo para sa mga anak mo.
It's a good thing that she doesn't have to watch over her eldest Micaela as much. But Micaela, who's now on her 2nd week of blended learning as a first-year college student at the Makati Science Technological Institute of the Philippines, said that the primary challenge really is internet connectivity.
Ang hirap po pag hindi mo po nakikita yung mismong actual na ginagawa ng teacher mo and kailangan mo pa rin po magpasa ng video na ginagawa yung actual na procedure na yon.
Charlie Barberan, a SPED teacher at the 9 de Febrero Elementary School, is bracing herself for what she describes as a very challenging school year. Preparing modules for parents is time-consuming, while internet connectivity is also a problem for them.
Hindi po kami pwede ng messenger chat lang. Kailangan po talaga video calls kami sa mga kids namin. Kasi once po na messenger chat, alam na namin na parent ang sumasagot, hindi bata.
The tablets are provided for free by the LGU, but only for grades 4 to 12. Meanwhile, getting students to focus is another challenge, especially with the noise. Teachers also have to double their effort in teaching not only the kids in SPED, but also their parents.
Yung mga parent na hindi naman nakapag-aral. So paano nila maituturo sa mga bata yung lesson nila kung hindi nila sila mismo hindi naiintindihan? Lalo na sa hawak po namin na special children, so napakahirap talaga.
Teacher Chani says she gets by as long as she works extra hard in following up the parents. Last Saturday, the Department of Education reported to President Rodrigo Duterte that they managed an enrollment of 26.23 million students for this year,
which is 97% of pre-pandemic. And considering all the different varieties of viruses which has plagued our system, including education, it's quite significant that our enrollment levels are still high.
Secretary Leonor Briones also said they have distributed gadgets from the Department of Finance and Bureau of Customs to what they call the last mile schools, or schools that have been nearly forgotten or were left behind.
We are grateful. Department of Finance has donated twice already customs, and we are hoping that they will catch more smugglers for the benefit of our learners, and have also been negotiating with our multilateral partners like Asian Development Bank.
DepEd expects enrollment figures to go up until today, the last day of enrollment. For News 5, Lynn Olivario, we are One News.
We were successful.
President Duterte has threatened to stop all government transactions with the Philippine Red Cross. Duterte said he will do this if PRC Chairman Richard Gordon refused to open the organization's financial records for auditing. In his pre-recorded address on Saturday, Duterte said the PRC may be subject to audit since it receives financial aid from the government.
Mr. Senator Gordon, nasaan na ang report? And why would you say now that the government of the Republic of the Philippines cannot conduct an audit sa Red Cross because it is totally independent? If it is totally independent, you are correct. But it is not totally independent because you have been receiving aid, financial aid from the Republic of the Philippines, and you receive the money and spend it. You are accountable to the government, and therefore an audit is in order.
In response, the PRC issued a statement saying it has faithfully accounted for the use of all donations from government agencies. The group added that there hasn't been any adverse finding of any transaction where government funds were donated to the PRC. Additionally, the organization said reports of those donations may be obtained directly from the agencies which are subject to state audits. Vice President Leni Robredo chided Palace spokesperson Harry Roque for losing his cool at an IATF meeting. Robredo said the very purpose of such meetings is for government officials to hear how their actions are affecting stakeholders. So the Vice President says Roque had no business bullying the same stakeholders into silence.
Wala ka namang karapatan na mag-react the way na si Secretary Roque did. Diba? Kasi kaya nga may IATF para mapakinggan lahat. Kung hindi ka agree, okay naman sabihin mong hindi ka agree, pero wala kang karapatan na mambuli, mambastos. Kung ayaw mo makinig ng contrary opinion, wag ka na pumunta doon. Kasi yung purpose ng meeting na yun, ganon para maghanap ng, diba, para i-harmonize yung iba't ibang mga pagtingin para sa kung ano yung makakabuti sa taong bayan.
Meanwhile, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, said that everyone is frustrated at this point. And he said if the spokesperson is exasperated, then business owners are feeling the pressure as well.
I mean, we're all feeling the pressure. I mean, sometimes, we all get exasperated. I can see the pressure mounting on the cabinet especially. There's so much pressure. Now, you're confronted with also people who are, going hungry. I mean, people being told, okay, you're going to have work, they're going to resume, and then you have to tell your employees, I'm sorry, the government has stopped it because, there are some issues that you have to fix. So the frustration on many of these entrepreneurs is extremely high. You can see their patience is really waning, and I don't blame them.
EJ Obiena has set new national and Asian records after his gold medal performance in the 2021 Golden Roof Challenge in Austria. Obiena set a new meet record of 5.93 meters, eclipsing Kazakhstan's mark of 5.92 meters back in 1998. He also broke his own personal and national record, 5.91 meters, which he established in the Paris Diamond League just a few weeks ago. Despite committing fouls in the first two attempts, the Filipino pole vaulter was able to bag the gold medal, as all other participants bowed out after the 5.80-meter mark. Here are the stories to watch out for later today. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, MMDA Chairman Benher Avalos, and representatives from the Health and Interior Departments are set to have a public dialogue on safe ways to open the economy. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee is scheduled to continue its probe, a core report on the Health Department's use of COVID-19 funds. And NASA rover Perseverance collects its first Martian rock sample. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.